Welcome to Geog, running you through to geography success. This episode again is going to focus on the pre-release material. Please note that this pre-release material is last year's. It is an example of how the booklet works and the types of information and tasks which we can develop from it. As you can see, this booklet focuses on city growth. The first source says selected city growth in the UK 2000 to 2010. What we would do with a source similar to this would be to identify ways in which this information could be graphically represented and also to identify overall patterns. Figure 2, as you can see, gives some contextual information. It is a visual source and it outlines the location of Cambridge and Norwich. This might be important, for example, if we were looking at the ability of areas to expand, and you would be able to see from the source that Norwich is surrounded by 2 councils in comparison to Cambridge's 1. Looking at figure 3. Obviously this is a block of text, but within this block of text there are key statistics to pick out. One thing that you may be asked to do in the exam is to identify patterns which you can pick out from that text. Showing again a graphical source. This one is showing population density in inner and outer Norwich. You may be, for example, asked to explain how or why those patterns occur. So for example, why is the population density greater in the inner city compared to the outskirts of Norwich? And you could tie this into a range of topics. Things in the pre-release often link back to previous topics that you may have studied the year before. So for example, this is looking at the rural-urban fringe and the inner city, which would tie into AS settlement study. You might be asked to identify, for example, the different characteristics which you find in each location. Again, tying into settlement, you have the idea of development. So for example, accommodating city expansion. Here it outlines the advantages and disadvantages of green and brownfield sites. Often you'll get map-based questions. Those maps may have a very simplistic key or no key at all. You might be asked to interpret information. So for example, you may be given a decision-making exercise and asked to locate where or when something might be developed. A favourite of the exam board is often to give you partially annotated sources. So for example, this is an area photograph of Norwich. And you can see a range of developments which have taken place. You might be asked to explain which is the most suitable area for development, or you might be asked why things have located in that area. Often information can be presented graphically as well as in tabular form. You might be asked to identify or interpret how things might change after the graph, or the reasons for those changes occurring. Often you'll be given some information. Right? This information, for example, is about a proposed new town. What it does here is it sets the scene. It gives you a bit of background information. However, you need to go into a lot more depth to figure this out. Thank you again for watching.